Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next to last regular season. I guess it's the last regular season edition of Husker Heat. The last series is this weekend against Maryland. If I'm looking a little sideways tonight, and if I don't sound as clear, Mylie tells me I sounded okay, but just to warn you, I am on the road and I didn't bring my camera, which has the mic built into it with me. So if anything's goofy, that's why. And there's
Dumb,
your excuse, and let's go with that. What was that, Mylie?
dumbass.
Really, we're just starting off with dumbass. And what, as I put the background up, I don't know why it kicks my background out every week, but and it's a beautiful background. It's Bowlin Stadium where they will be back. Just so you know, Mylie, you've got Friday and Saturday's recaps, and I
I
should be.
don't have Friday.
Just it doesn't matter. Just get it up at some point.
It won't be Friday.
Why not? What are you doing Friday?
Helping parents move.
Helping parents move.
Yes.
Well, what? All night?
All day, yeah.
Well, the game's not till 5, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just get it in after. Just get it in the evening.
It can be Saturday if you're really needing me to do it.
Why is it going to be Saturday if you're just going to be moving
I'm
them
not
during
gonna
the
have
day?
time. Oh my god.
What are you doing? What are you doing Friday night that's so important?
I will be over there helping them move and unpack.
Oh, on Friday night. So that's why I asked, are you doing it Friday night? And you just said no, Friday day.
All of Friday, yes.
Yeah, because the game won't be over till like probably 7:30 or 8.
Yeah, it's not like I'm after a long day of moving, I'm gonna want to sit down and write a whole ass article.
Well, we'll figure it out then, I guess. Anyway, Mylie's just introduced herself to everybody for the evening.
That's your fault.
And I am coming to you not live from Mount St. Helens, but from the general area. I was at Mount St. Helens today, and yes, we're going to have some vacation pics later on. For those of you who don't know or were listening or whatever, I was in Seattle for all 3 games, and yes, it's just the stadium's as gorgeous as it looked in pictures. It's literally just right behind the football field. If you've ever seen a Washington home game, the one end of the stadium is open and you can see Lake Washington beyond that. Just fantastic looking. Their football scoreboard is literally hanging over the people in like the right field, like the far right field bleachers by the line and in foul territory. They are underneath the football scoreboard. So the softball stadium is actually slightly closer to the lake than the football stadium, which looks like it's about to fall into it. So yeah, every time one got hit out, I think we heard our radio guy saying something about, and there goes another one into the bay. I'm not sure they made it into the bay, but it was possible. One of Jordy's might have made it into the bay, and she had another one that I'm pretty sure that in center field they've got this here. I've got a shot of that. They've got like I think it's supposed to be an intimidating dog face picture. Here it is. There you go. That's just right over the center field fence. It's just like a banner they stretched over an old scoreboard, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I think she put one right between that thing's eyes on Sunday. But anyway, let's get going. We're not going to have a lot to say about Maryland because I don't know how to put this gently. Maryland's not any good. Let's just take care of Maryland now and be done with it before we even get to Washington. Maryland is 18-28 on the season. They are 3-16 in the Big Ten, which ties them for 16th, or another way to put it, last. I always try to find their RPI is 124. Rutgers is actually lower. I think Rutgers is in the 180s, but those are the 2, 3, and 16 teams. And Rutgers did beat Maryland once. Their strength of schedule isn't too bad. It's 50th. I found one decent win they had. They did beat California, who is 27th in the RPI, so that's a very, very good win for them. It's the only very, very good win for them. And when I was looking for bad losses, I found 2 horrendous ones. There's 313 softball teams in Division I believe. They lost to RP. These are the RPIs. They lost to number 261 UMass. And they lost to number 242 Queens. I'm just guessing like Queens has their own little Queen City College or something in their borough in New York. I don't think, I'm guessing nobody else in the Big Ten has a loss even close to that awful. Though as awful as those two. But so there's Maryland in a nutshell. Their team in a nutshell. I'm not going to bring up any of their pitchers because their staff ERA is 5.48, which is just absolutely horrendous. Their best pitcher's ERA is 4.20, which is terrible. And their first three hitters aren't bad. They have a hitter, Sydney Lewis, who bats 331, and she has 10 homers and 38 RBIs. I think, their team only has 30 homers, and there's not anything really scary beyond the third hitter. We should sweep them. The only way we don't sweep them is as I'll get into it, we basically just need one win, I believe, to clinch fourth place and a bye in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. So we might see a lot of different pitchers. We're going to get another Kylie McGee start for sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see, if Jordy wins on Friday, I wouldn't be surprised to see McGee go Saturday and Hannah or Cope go Sunday, and just not really caring what happens in those two games. And even with those guys going, their pitching is so bad and our hitting is so good. There might be a game where we challenge that Corpus Christi 20-run game. I'm not kidding. This is not a good team, but maybe we get some horrendous pitching going. They win a game. Wouldn't shock me. I'm thinking we'll see a lot of people. If we get that first win, I would think we'd see a lot of people, depending on what else happens in the standings. But as you'll see, I don't think there's going to be a lot of movement in the top four. But anyway, there you go. There's your Maryland. Mylie, you've got to be happy with how little time that took on the opponent. As we always know that you're never for the long show, shall we say?
No.
What was that? I didn't
It
quite.
starts at 8:00. It's just so late.
I know. Well, we all do. We've got to wait till after dinner. Tell you what, we've got some comments. I'm almost afraid to look. I saw our guy Pitt was in earlier. Let's see what else is. It's all Pitt all the time. He is rocking and rolling. Here's his first comment, which Mylie loved. I am here early. Mylie, give me a C story that'll make your daddy blush. Come on now, make something up if you gotta. What's a C story? Was that your question, Mylie?
Yeah.
I see a C story, SEA, and I'm like mermaids, fishing. I'm not sure what that meant. Tell us down below, and we'll find out. Let's see what else. Yeah, where are you at? Apparently, I wasn't being. I didn't think we were running late. I was in there right about the time it said you're on. There we go. Mylie's got that salt tonight. Yeah, you were popping off. Called me a dumbass, I think, before the show was 30 seconds old. Let's see. Oh, geez. Yeah, this puts it best. It's just Maryland. Now, here's one. He goes, yeah, there's 47 colleges in Queens. It's a big city. I wasn't saying New York was short on city colleges, but that they have a Division I softball team, and I assume I'm assuming it's Queens College. It just said Queens, so I didn't dig deep enough to see if it was college or university. It's fun. I'm sure it's the cream of the crop in Queens, and they beat Maryland, so they have that one. There's a good frown harder, Mylie.
I got RBF.
Mylie's always beaming.
It's called RBF.
RBF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face. Yeah. Let's see.
I get that from my father.
Sean said, Nebraska Athletic. Good Lord. I don't know if that's supposed to be Nebraska Athletics. Hey, the softball team's doing all right.
Oh, he's saying that they're athletic. Good Lord.
Oh, Nebraska's athletic. Yeah, they are that. And the most athletic of them all was like, did Oklahoma know they had a hitter like that, or did they just never bother, like, really finding out? Because Jordy only took like something like 40-something at-bats at Oklahoma in 2 years. I think she had 37 one of those years, but they basically were like, just worry about your pitching. And here's the thing. They won the College World Series both those years, so obviously they were fine without it. It just seems kind of weird that they just didn't really ever let her hit. And I mean, maybe you just when that's your stud horse of a pitcher, maybe you don't want to risk it. There, I don't know. That athleticism, that power, I it would be tough to turn away from that. And I'm guessing Rhonda knew that was there from her high school days and was kind of like, we're going to sneak this on. Because there was the day we went out and watched them scrimmage in January when it was really nice. And she was telling us that, like, yeah, she's going to be, someone's like, did we see her playing first? Yep, she will be playing first when she doesn't pitch. And then now it's pretty much like center field when she doesn't pitch, it seems like. Pitt says, a sea story is like a fairy tale, but instead of beginning with once upon a time, it begins with this is a real no shitter. So okay, now I get it. Sounds more like an S story, a shit story. Yeah, hey, hold on here. Bullshit. Andy's a happy dude. Your RBF is on you, pumpkin.
Whatever.
Been firing shots. All right, let's get Mylie closer to that bedtime she craves. Washington, 1-2 out of 3. Good win, 2 out of 3 there. It basically put them in a position, and let's just do this right now. Hold on just a sec here. Here's let me get our standings up. So as you can see, Oregon's in first, 17-2. I'm calling Oregon to win the division right now. They're playing Michigan State, who you can see down there 14th, 167th RPI. Oregon's going to sweep that series barring a terrorist attack. So Oregon's going to be your Big Ten regular season champs. UCLA gets Northwestern. I'm going to be really shocked if UCLA doesn't just sweep that emphatically as well. That's UCLA, I believe, is the best team in the conference. Oregon's played a softer schedule, and I believe their RPI. Mylie, if you could check their it should be right on here now that I think about it. Their RPI is they're up to 11th, but UCLA is 5th. So theirs is improved. They were around 20th or so, but their conference play must have bumped them up. But I like Oregon is going to sweep. UCLA is going to sweep. Ohio State is playing Illinois, who's down there at 13th, 5-13 in the conference. Again, if you're a betting person, it looks like an Ohio State sweep. At best, or worse, they're going to win 2 out of 3. And if we sweep and they do 2 out of 3, then we can jump into third. I think they'll have a tiebreaker against us since they're in this spot in the standings. I don't know what it is. I apologize. Northwestern, we've got the tiebreaker on. We swept them, so they're not really anything to worry about. Oh, and guess what? They're playing UCLA. They're not going to gain any ground, so they're out. And just for the heck of it, Iowa's the only team that could catch us if we lost. Let's see, if we got swept and they swept. I didn't catch who they're playing, but I think they're playing a team that they should sweep. It's not Minnesota. Maybe I think they have Rutgers. So they've got the bottom there. But even then, if they sweep, we still just win one game and we stay ahead. And I don't think there's any way we're not going to win at least one game against Maryland. As I was saying, I think even if we just pitch Jordy the one game and let the chips fall with whoever else after that, I still like our chances because they're so bad. They're pitching so bad and our bats are so good. So I think we've got fourth locked up. I have a feeling that's where we're going to end up unless we sweep and Ohio State drops one. So anyway, that's what was so important now about winning 2 out of 3 games against Washington. Otherwise, now we're only 1 in front of Iowa. Northwestern and Ohio State are ahead of us, and then we need help from others. We still probably would have gotten it with the UCLA sweep of Northwestern, but now we don't have to really worry about that. So we won 12-8, and if anybody watched Friday, it was never really in doubt. Their crowd made you think it was in doubt because their crowd just got so fired up when, with 2 outs, 2 strikes on the batter, they stringed some hits together. I think got a home run, and boom, 12-0 or 12-1 became 12-3. and no, I'm sorry, 9-1 became 9-2, and we're off to the sixth inning, or 9-0 became 9-2, off to the sixth inning. Then Ava Cusack hits a 3-run homer in the top of the sixth, and it looks like, hey, we're still okay. We're still going to get a run rule, and it's because we went up 12-3, and they get some more, and all of a sudden it is 12-5, and we're off to the seventh. We don't score. And they actually did get a 3-run homer to make it 12-8, and then Hannah got us out of it. But yeah, their place was hopping. I will say one thing: Washington fans are the best fans I've run into so far. They are loud. They are mostly old, and these old bastards are pissed and they're into it. They were sitting there. What's that?
So an old bastard who's into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. There need to be more fans like me too. Thank you. But no, these guys, I mean, they were up 10-1 going into the seventh, and they are screaming at the ump about balls and strikes. And I'm like, holy shit, these people go for the throat. And then after the game's over, they're fine. They're happy to see us. They're glad they see the people in the Nebraska outfits. They're glad we came. And that wasn't just the win. That was the losses too. They are just what you want out of fans. And denizens of Bowling Stadium, you're not that loud. You are not a loud crowd. It's an older crowd too, but we saw in Washington, you don't have to be wheezing on the oxygen tank. Make some noise in Bowling. Just saying. I remember Garth Glissman basically said the same thing. He was a former Nebraska quarterback who I think he was working. He was an NBA exec at one point, but he did some radio and stuff. So he'd been to all the stadiums, and he said Nebraska is not a loud crowd, and people lost their shit. You're not a true Husker. They had to insult him, but he's right. It's like we're a loud crowd once a year in football, maybe. Like this year, Colorado, we're crazy. We're not that loud start to finish every game out. We're not an LSU or I don't know. I don't want to throw in too many teams that we despise that can get loud and stay loud. But softball wise, Washington's crowd had it going on. We were really laughing because there was a foul ball or there was a fair ball, and Washington challenged it like right out of the gate on Saturday. And oh my God, this dude lost his mind. I mean, it's the second batter. I think it wasn't Sammy, but it was first inning. And this guy is just up, foul, what the fuck? And just going crazy. And like his family's kind of looking at him, and we're just back there kind of laughing. And I'm like, I'm still pretty sure that's fair. and sure it was. It went right over the base. But we were like, good Lord, this guy came ready to fight. And yeah, and they just had that energy going on. There was, and Washington's one of those schools that has a tie-in to the Samoan players. That was one thing like Nebraska had for a while when we had Dominic Raiola, Tony Uffinoti. It just seemed like we had a pipeline because those guys can play the line like nobody's business, but then they get a quarterback in there like Mark Tuiasu Sopu at Washington, Dylan Raiola at Nebraska. But Washington's had it. Here came a whole family of Samoans in on Sunday, and it was so funny because they're the only ones I think besides me that had shorts on, and a couple of the big dudes. There's a couple of players on the team. I'm assuming this is family or whatever, and these guys are in flip flops. And Saturday was the game where it was 62 and felt about 74 because not much wind and the sun beating on you. And Sunday was about 57 or 58 and felt about 43 because clouds, wind. It was a little chilly. I was wishing I'd at least worn a thicker hoodie. That's the only time is these guys, we're up 6-0, top of the seventh. They're like, yeah, enough's enough. We're out. They're like, we didn't sign on for the cold stuff. But anyway, fun town, fun place. Let's boogie on ahead here. We are now 14-5, three-way tie for third, as I said. We are ranked 20th in two polls, D1 softball and USA Today and FCA, and 21st in the ESPN USA softball and Softball America. So we know where we're sitting. We're not getting any jumping. Maybe for a home regional. We're just not high. We can't even try to beg our way in with a ranking, up around 14th or 15th, but that's okay. Just please God, not Stillwater. I don't want to go to Still. I will go this time. I missed the maybe the greatest softball game I've ever seen when we came back and upset Wichita State down there 2 years ago, and I'm still banging my head into the desk. So it's like I may still insult Stillwater, but I will go again. They at least have an amazing breakfast place. Let's do the hot and not real quick. Hot. I mean, this was no doubt here. I haven't gotten the second article up, but Jordy Ball, she won Big Ten Player of the Week this week, not Pitcher of the Week, Player of the Week. She got it for her bat. She went 5 for 8 with 3 homers, 8 RBIs, scored 3 runs, and if you throw in her 2 walks, her on-base percentage was 700. Folks, that's good in slow pitch softball. So she just destroyed the pitching up there. What was funny, game 1, there weren't a lot of little kids at the next 2 games. Friday were a lot of little kids there, and you felt the Jordy rock star phenomenon. They introduced her, and the little Washington fans were just screaming their heads off, and they were cheering for her. It was kind of funny to see. Now, you didn't catch any parents giving them crap. They knew they were bringing them there to watch Jordy. Kind of lost in Jordy's run was Ava Cusack. Had a heck of a weekend. She went 6 for 11, knocked in 5 runs, had 2 home runs in the opening game. And what it was, I thought maybe she was going to have a little trouble with pitching against good teams like she had for a while when conference play started. And she struck out twice and then came back with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in that game. Bella Bacon was on-base percentage was 500. She was 3 for 8 with a homer and an RBI. Laura Kamenzen had a nice weekend, nice little bounce back for her. She was 3 for 7, 500 on base, a double, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and then she only played 1 game full. But Abby Squire got back in. If you remember early in the season, Abby was just on absolute fire. She was hitting about 430. She had like 8 home runs early, and then just went off the table, went on an 0 for something string. Well, she got the start on Sunday and 1 for 3 with a double, and then walked once. So she was 2 for 4 getting on base. Nice to see her contribute and finally get a start. Jordy, good weekend pitching. If you're not Jordy Ball, if you're Jordy Ball, it looked a little shaky, but I won't give anyone up. But what Nebraska will do is just, and I think all teams do this, they will go in just to be fair to their pitchers and try to track pitches the umpire missed, the home plate umpire. Umping was very shaky on Friday and Saturday. The Washington fans were going bananas. It was fairly awful both ways. So Jordy walked 7 batters in the 2 games. The game she got knocked out of, actually, because she was through 4 2/3 in that Friday night game. 1 hitter going, a bunch of 9 strikeouts, and then boom, 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 they get some hits, and then the next thing, boom, 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 they're hitting her again, and she comes out after 5 1/3. And she only walked 2 that game, but gave up a bunch of hits late. And then the next game, 1 hit shutout, great, but she walked 5 in that game, which is a lot for her. But I think we're okay. There wasn't any just wild, that's clearly a ball. That there were a lot of tight balls called on her with 2 strikes. So I think she's fine there, and it was just some goofy umping all around. And so her ERA for the weekend was 2.84. Hey, great for most pitchers. Jordy wants to be around 130, so she's probably not happy about that. And now we come into what are we going to do come tournament time, Big Ten and NCAA, because Kylie McGee, now after having a couple decent outings against Northwestern and Iowa, who have, if we're honest, pretty weak hitting lineup, now has faced a couple of good teams and gotten knocked around. And this game, I think she just went walk, hit, walk, hit back. She faced 5 batters. They all got on base and wasn't getting, in 4 of those 5, 3 were walks. I think she threw 8 straight balls to start the game, just two straight batters on 4 pitches. And this is our number 2 pitcher that Rhonda went back to after she got roughed up early in the season, and Hannah kind of became the Saturday pitcher, and we pretty much knew Jordy would be pitched starting 2 of the 3 games all season. But now it's like, can you really you can't start her in a Big Ten tournament game. There's not like, it's not double elimination. You lose, you're gone. And I just wonder if we're in the boat that it's going to be, because when we get, we won't play more than 1 game a day. If Jordy's just going to pitch all 3 games, wouldn't be unheard of. Sarah Harness did it last year, basically because of injury. There weren't any other healthy pitchers. But do you do that to her and then head off to the regionals and maybe just have to see how far she can go? Or do we go back to Hannah? It's because in the regionals, you will pitch more. You will play more than 1 game a day unless you're just going undefeated. Something to think about. Let's see, that I covered. Yeah, I covered all the hot people. Not hot. Sam Bland, 1 for 10. She had just been on absolute fire. I think she'll be fine. She was still hitting the ball hard. Took a couple of the warning track, had a couple line drive outs. It's not like I think she just had more bad luck than anything else. Casey Hoffman went 0 for 6. Olivia DiNardo played probably her first full week, and I think she was just and stop me if you remember, if you think I'm wrong, Mylie. But I thought she just kind of dipped in and out of the games last weekend. It just seemed like, I don't know if she was sick or hurt.
Who was this?
Olivia DiNardo.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's because she was on absolute fire and then just wasn't playing for a couple of games, and I thought that was just weird to be taken out.
I watched last weekend, so I don't know.
What's that?
Said I don't even think I watched last weekend.
Okay. Yeah, and that was, what was last weekend? Indiana. Was that last weekend? Yeah, Indiana. Yeah, I just thought that was odd though. So I don't know, but she went 2 for 9, and then Ava Bradwell she had a double and she had 1 good game, but still was 2 for 10 overall on the weekend. Gunned a couple of runners trying to steal though, and so that was nice. But yeah, so there we are. That's who's hot. Just to give you an idea on the teams, we hit 352 as a team. Maryland hits 273. We've got 93 homers. They've got 30. We just dominate them in every way. Our team ERA pitching is 273. Theirs is 548. Their team WHIP is 168. They will put runners on for us even if we don't want to be on base. I just have a feeling this is just there's not going to be the usual like kind of game off that our hitting takes each weekend, because I just don't think these guys are good enough to even stop us when we're not hitting. So that's where we are. And then we'll have the Big Ten tournament is going to be in West Lafayette next week. I believe it starts on Wednesday, but the Huskers wouldn't play till Thursday. I think they go like Wednesday through Saturday. Maybe I'd have to double check that. I'll have that for sure when we do next week's before the Big Ten tournament. And anyway, I think that's about it for softball. Mylie, any thoughts? I know how you like to just talk off the cuff there.
No.
You're like the color man in Major League.
I know. You say that every week.
What's that?
You say that all the time.
I know. I just so
I'm just here because I have to.
I feel like I'm Bob Uecker without being as near as funny, and you're that other guy. And he had to take over in Major League Two, and because Bob Uecker just passed out drunk, and he's like, "What? Pitch?
Oh God, he's quoting movies.
Strike 1." I think that might happen if you took over.
Probably.
Mylie, I don't feel so good. No, your picture would just disappear, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Technical difficulties, right?
No, I would no. I wouldn't even make an excuse. Bye.
Well, tell you what. Let me tell you about my room here. And
oh God.
This is it. No, it's just a few things, but I just started cracking up. I'm just looking. Get your finger out your mouth.
No.
I'm just looking for like cheap places to stay because I'm basically just coming in, going to bed, and taking off the next day. I had a decent place in Seattle, but I'm just trying to find the nicest flea bags I can. So I saw one of those, hey, best American value inns or whatever, which just scream, there's a bat in your bathroom or something. I come in, it had good reviews. Hey, the guy at the desk is really nice. And I'm like, yeah, he was all right. And it looked all right in the lobby. And I go into my room, and right away I get like the strange guy smoking out by the rail and staring at me. And so, all right, well, this, it's not much. It's a fairly cheap place. You're going to have that. I go back to get something out of the car, and here's like what just looks like a suicide going down in a week or two. Just gal sitting there with like her hoodie pretty much pulled over her face while she is just hunched up to her phone, sitting on the stairs and blocking them. And excuse me, oh, sorry. And then I go into the room, check it out. My favorite thing is over here, there's this lamp with like water damage around the rim of the shade. And it looks like just water. It's not a weird color, but I'm like, click, click. Why isn't it turning on? I'm like, oh, it's not plugged in. So, okay, it's one of these places where they unplug everything to save a few pennies. So I look around. The reason it's not plugged in, there's no outlet anywhere near that lamp. Right? Take an extension cord to get this thing going. I mean, I got the phone out and looked behind the bed. They put a lamp on an end table with no way to ever have that lamp be turned on without one of those like orange industrial extension cords you find in your garage. So that was number one. Well, that was probably number two, the weird people. Number three, then I hear one of those just awesome white trash yelling arguments, like several doors down, outside the door. I kind of look out the curtain, hoping I won't be spotted. And there's just like guy and his wife having, not throwing hands or anything, but definitely just like, you're a bastard, having one of those verbal go at it. So the last thing is I go to the bathroom and I open the door, or the door's open. I'm like, hey, now the bathroom actually does look clean. It looks clean. It looks spotless. Shower looks like it's in good shape. Okay, we're in business. And I go to close the door, and then there's like 3 holes punched in the back of it. And then I open the other side, and there's like a couple punched in the front of it. It was just the door was already open. And then I see it. Yeah, somebody took on both sides of the bathroom door. Management just decided, fuck it. And, still opens and closes, I guess. Yeah, they're probably like, hey, no one's breaking in there. That door took some punches. That door's has Muhammad Ali's chin. Let's leave it. So if those two start fighting the other, down the way there, they'll just be able to, one of them, she can lock herself in there and he isn't getting through. So anyway, that's my story, and in a way, it's kind of funny. And if I'm leaving once, it's just to grab some burgers, and I may just be in here with my snacks and my propels. I got my propels, people.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh God. And then tell you what, so I've been on vacation. Let me show you a few pics. Trying to think. Yeah, here is there's the shot of the bay. The parking lot I was in, I had like a parking pass. It's just right behind, say, center field, which is about just on the road going behind the softball field. So it's just a short walk around the outfield and and into the entrance to the stadium. And this is what's basically about 10 feet away from the parking lot, is just the bay there. There's the football stadium. That's just a shot straight off the back of the bleachers there. We saw our guy there. Let's see. And there's the scoreboard. If you look right in the middle there, that is the football scoreboard hanging over the people there. You can see a little of the football stadium to the left. Did I don't know. I did. I took a picture. One thing they do on game day in Seattle is they just leave the football stadium open. So so people can walk in and just go up there and look down on the watch softball for free from.
Like, who's this creepy ass taking a picture of us?
Exactly. Well, we just hit a home run off him, so they were pissed anyway, so I didn't care. No, actually, there were quite a few. They got a lot of photographic attention. That people like to take pictures of them. So anyway, I drove 2 days out to Seattle, stopped off first in Badlands, and that's the beginning. That's the start of a trail that basically just goes up to the top of those rocks behind me. It's a fun little like quarter half.
It's gonna be like Mount Rushmore or something, but it's literally just like a freaking slit in the mountain.
Oh, you're not getting. I have a good Badlands shot. There's a little more of it, but even then, there's places where it's just nothing but these canyons going on forever. Badlands, I wouldn't want to camp there because there are rattlesnakes, and there's virtually no water in the park anywhere except where they've got fountains and faucets. And they say of what water there is, if you do find water in the park, you don't even want to drink it through a purifier. But it is just it's a really cool place. That little point there, I scrambled up to the top of that. That's not actually a trail. I'd been up there before a few years ago, and the heights didn't bother me as much this time. One other little cool place. I stayed last night at this place called the Paradise Valley Inn by Mount Rainier. I went to Mount Rainier yesterday. Ooh, I got a great picture of Mount Rainier. Where is it? Oh, it was just so beautiful. The peak, yeah, it was all clouded over. God damn it. But if you're going to Washington or Oregon, you're not always going to get to see the peaks. And what was funny, it was raining this morning, but you get out the weather map and it is snowing on Mount Rainier because that's at 14,000 feet or whatever. I'll be back. I hope to see it again. I did do a little hike around there, but here's the thing. The place I went, there's my room. They have these little
fit in that thing.
What's that?
So you probably don't even fit in that thing.
Actually, the bed was like one wall to another crossways, and it was plenty long enough. If I was over, if 6'6" or more, probably shouldn't do it though. But yeah, my feet did not come close to the wall. But then inside, there you go.
That tells you something.
What? There's the inside of it.
That's what you said.
See, catch the little heater there. That was the heat, and it worked pretty well, I might add. I'd go to that place again in a heartbeat. It's run by a Ukrainian family, and they had a Ukrainian restaurant there. So I'm like, what's Ukrainian food? Well, fish and chips. Northwestern cod, you betcha. But then they had, I can't remember what this thing was called. It was like these little chicken filled, like not battered, but like dumplings, and they were really, really good. So I got too much to eat for dinner on purpose so I could have those dumplings for breakfast. Let's see.
You had meat dumplings for breakfast?
I did. I had pizza for breakfast one morning too.
You know why? You had what?
Pizza.
Ew.
You know why?
Why? Because you're an adult?
Well, yes, technically. And B, 2-for-1 pizza.
Oh my God.
I mean, the really good, nice pizzas, like, $15.99 for a 10-inch, but they were like 2-for-1. And so throw some sausage and pepperoni on them, and I had two like really nice pizzas for $19.99.
You paid $20 for a 10-inch?
Well, no, I paid $20 for two 10-inches.
Yeah.
And and it was a big 10-inch because I was thinking, okay, that's.
I bet it was
barely over mini, but yeah, that was good stuff. And let's see. Okay, there's me goober hiking, but that was in the Mount Rainier National Park on the trail they tricked me into. I thought it was going to be kind of an easy hike, and it was 2.5 miles of switchbacks to the top of this ridge, which looked really high from the bottom. I'm like, oh no, don't make me go up that, and they did, but that's all right. And let's see. Nope, we saw that. I don't think the roads going up. This is called the Paradise section of Mount Rainier. And this is at about 5,000 feet, and Rainier's like 14,000 feet, which is right in front of this. So it gives you an idea of the view I didn't get. But for about the last 3 miles, the roads were just lined with like 6-foot, shovel drifts on the side. The roads were fine, but yeah, a lot of snow, a lot more snow there than I thought there would be. We are almost done. Here is Mount St. Helens, where I was today. I hiked up a trail a couple of miles and got a view of the mountain there. You can kind of see it. What's that?
This is like show and tell.
It is.
Yeah.
It's exactly showing. Well, isn't every episode show and tell? I mean, more telling, but we show stuff.
No, because you're on a trip. That's why it's show and tell.
That's true. Anyway, and there's one me like standing in front of Mount St. Helens. You can actually hike to the up to the top of the mountain. Like on one side, there's nothing but like mountain climbers. They just climb that side. But there is a way to walk up there. But holy crow! I guess the last couple miles is about 4,600 feet up. So, and it's 10. The trail's 10 miles in and 10 miles out, and you're not allowed to camp at the Mount St. Helens like trail area. So that's like,
yeah, because the thing might blow.
Oh, that's actually very true.
Yeah.
They say it's still one of the highest risks. They monitor the hell out of it. Like even when it blew the first time, people had been camped out there for like 2 or 3 months waiting for it to blow because they'd known it was just a matter of when. They just didn't know it was going to be one of the most violent earthquakes in history because it didn't blow like straight up. It literally blew the side of the mountain apart. And it shot up, but it shot out as well. And I think just killed everything like about 20, 30 miles in front of it. Even about 15 years ago, I think that area still looked like the surface of the moon. Now it's actually growing back in. For a minute, I didn't know where I was. It was like, is this the right place? Because I didn't expect it to be that, have that much vegetation again. But anyway, there's your show and tell, as Mylie said. Let's hit the comments real quick. This is Pit Snipe. Oh, Tiger TSD made it. Tiger Sharks. Let's see where we are at. So you sent Mylie to military school for being excessively violent with classmates, huh? She is a violent type, isn't she? There's a lot of anger in her. I don't know.
Look who my father is. No.
What? He's already told you. I'm a happy guy. Let's see. What did he say? I see a music stand. Tell me about that.
It's a projector.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like a projector. Yeah, it's not a music stand.
No.
And then TSD saw Pitt was in the house.
Declined.
These guys are just absolute ball in the movie and football ones. I think I've said that. TSD's on to something here.
Sadly, yeah.
Sadly, you got all your good stuff from me. Here we go. I'm writing an Andy Mylie version of Dynasty. She ain't helping. Let's see.
No.
Oh,
I don't like to talk. So
full football talk. I'm gonna drop this knowledge here first. Did y'all notice how edge rusher quietly became an oxymoron? I did. That's a good one. Oh, here's your chance.
What? Oh, okay.
Huh? Now I'm gonna let it slide.
Mean.
Yeah. Crackhead and a bat in your bathroom.
Yeah. Mean
No bats, and I think so far the crackheads are staying outside. Executive suites everywhere else. Drury Inn. Yeah, executive suites always kind of scared me off. I've been to Drury Inn a couple of times. I don't remember that being too bad. There was the one place remember when we were in the Heartland League, and there was one hotel. We'd go play at that outdoor rink down across the river from St. Louis, whatever that town was called. It wasn't East St. Louis, but it was north of that. And there was one hotel they recommended for us. And I remember somebody went to, oh my God, check the reviews. And the reviews from like the past few years were, oh my God, bed bugs. And everybody,
is it East St. Louis like the bad part of St. Louis, or what's the bad part?
Yes. Yeah, that's the scare. That's the part that Chevy Chase got caught in Vacation, where he asked for directions by going, "Excuse me, Holmes," and then they just took all the
quote.
Yeah, I think they took all the hubcaps. Yeah, but Yeah, that was just bed bugs. Yeah, there's bed bug. I did do a bed bug check. No bed bugs. I had those. I don't want them ever again.
Oh God. Why would you put that on the internet?
Pitt says TSD. You ever had a bat in the house? True story. When we used to have our Ketterson's Old Market bookstore in the Old Market, I caught a bat in there one day, or at least I got it under a can. So
that's why you're so fucked up. Got it.
Huh?
That's why you're so fucked up. You've been bitten by a bat.
No, I didn't get bitten by. It's other reasons. The bat did not bite me. I managed to get like a magazine under it and a coffee can on it, and then the good old animal control came and picked it up. I didn't feel like let's go kill and fight that one on our own. What's Pitts might say? A bat will turn a grown-ass man into a squealing bitch in seconds. Yeah. Although I did catch a bat at Natalie's house too, so I've caught 2 bats. All right, let's see. Tell us about what's he saying? Tell us about the cords in your garage, Andy. Yeah, the orange extension cord. I should have brought it. I should have brought my big orange extension cord, and I could have 2 lamps.
That is what he said.
I know. Oh well. Let's see. My brother did in his room. Pit Snipe had to get the rabies shots. Oh, he got bit by the bat. See, too quick. Pit, I'm not telling you about my bathroom, your trip to the bathroom. Oh, I did. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Rabies shots are brutal. I caught a mole on the playground in the 2nd grade. 20 shots to the tummy. Ugh, never had rabies shots. I used to have the old tetanus shot in the shoulder that leave your shoulder dangling for a couple of days. Yeah, never. Thank goodness I never needed that again either. Andy, the secret creeper. I'll be honest, I'm not that secret about it. I'm creeping you. You'll know it.
That's weird. Why are you saying this shit?
To some people, maybe. To make you do that. I just like to get the Mylie reactions every now and then.
You have now put out on the internet that you're a creeper and you'll know it, and you've also had bed bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, had. I've been bed bug free for over 2 years. It's insane trying to get rid of them. Never get them. If you ever see a hotel review that says bed bugs, just don't go. They're just not worth it. They do no damage whatsoever. They're just there and they won't die forever or go away. It's like they can't hurt you, but they're just frigging annoying.
And they bite you though.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. They're not like disease riddled.
Yeah, but why would you want them?
No, I didn't say I wanted them. I said I don't want them. I'm just saying like they're fairly harmless. They're just annoying.
Bugs.
Whoever said they wanted them?
You.
No, I didn't.
You're hyping them up.
Close to that.
You're hyping them up.
Huh? I'm hyping them up as being shitty. Go back to sleep.
You sound like you're. Okay, bye.
Let's see. He fits fine without the loud ass little girl baggage. I want to go, Andy. We could wreck it at the fire pit between our cupboards. Hey, the little cabins on wheels that had fire pits, so they got that going for them. It was a nice little place. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I traveled for years, a double pizza deal, feed you all week, or as hungry as I was that night for supper and breakfast. Sorry. What's this? I want to blow that rock. I watched that rock blow to fog up. I didn't watch it. I just watched it on TV. But Omaha got the ash cloud over the top. It was like a day or two of the weather report going, no, there's no impending rain. That is ash from Mount St. Helens. Over like 1,600 miles away. That was insane. Let's see. Oh God. It might blow, doesn't keep us away from your mama. Ka-ching. Pitt, what are we drinking tonight? I know it's not the Husker happy hour, but I think you are doing Husker happy hour things. Was it Drury Rewards gives you a suite and a dinner buffet and liquor? Damn. That almost might be worth bed bugs. Okay, it's not. I don't want to get Mylie going again. Fine. For fuck's sake, Mylie, tell us what pisses you off. Mylie, the floor is yours.
You.
You pisses you off?
You.
Oh, me? Okay, I do that.
Jesus Christ.
Eh, you had to put up with you all those years. It's like I
Like, you
gotta have my
decided to
fun.
have a
Gotta have
child,
my fun.
that's your fault.
What?
You decided to have a child, so that's your fault.
You were an accident, hun. Sorry.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Whatever.
Shut up, Mylie. Good bro, creep each other. It's a dude
Wrap
thing.
it before you tap it then.
I got the what? I just heard tap it then. What was the rest of that?
I said wrap it before you tap it then, if you don't want mistakes like me.
Oh, too late now. Maybe we can,
Wait.
we're stuck with you, I guess. I got the grandpa energy. I fall in love with butterflies and silly little people. Fuck off. We're on that innocent creeper list.
Oh my God.
I love that. You're starting to sound like the Jerky Boys now. I
Can I
fall in love
do
with butterflies and shit.
comment?
I'm silly like that. Silly, I tell you. Yeah, Pitt's night. But see, it was kind of dark for a couple of days. That was freaky. Oh, here we go. He's on Barton's vodka and smoking apples and oranges. Oh, getting high on the peels. Oh, wait. He's right back on you, Mylie. Wow, slow down. Let's
God.
go back to that. Tell us why your dad pisses you off.
Because I want to go to bed and it.
Well, here's what's going to happen right now. We got a few people hanging around, and I wanted to make fun of Shadur Sanders.
Okay, well, you can have fun. I'm leaving.
Yeah. So I was going to say if
Okay.
you'd like to go, I completely understand. We've gone 53 minutes, so
Okay,
I appreciate you being so good natured for those extra like few minutes.
Fuck you.
I'm starting to think some people will turn in more for this than the softball.
Probably.
But yeah, are you going to check out then?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks so much, Mylie. Despite all the shit we say here, I appreciate you. I love you. Have a good night. Good sleep. Are you doing the late night shower again?
Huh?
Well, there's one night you were running for the shower. You just said you were grossed out.
Yeah, I mean, I worked out after work, so yeah, I'm gonna shower.
All right. Enjoy that. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
Tell Connor I hope Jason Tatum wrenches his knee and Celtics lose and all that. All right. See you later, Mylie.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So it's just me. I wanted to have a little fun, and you can get. I'll tell her later. You said you appreciate her. Thought you guys might want to have a little fun with the Shadur Sanders fall. I was out there with Husker student photographer and a radio person, and the three of us shared if anybody watched the game, we were under the canopy on TV to the left of the press box there, just enjoying life and getting to watch Shadur Karam on Friday. It was just he ain't going in the second, he ain't going in the third, and it was a night game, so TV was going then, and I had the ESPN draft list up, and then even going in the fifth round on Saturday was funny because someone suggested he's probably worth more money. Not of course not first round, but he's still probably worth more money if no one drafts him at all and he negotiates a free agent deal with whoever. He'd probably get more than the fifth round money, which was pretty much set for everybody. And there's just so much going on after that was just stupidly, just so stupid and unbelievable, as the media who was trying to make him the center of the draft, just like they made him the center of a 4-8 season, the center of college football in a 4-8 season, and then in a 9-3 season, which they get smoked in a bowl game, get smoked by Nebraska, and just some of the storylines, like Mel Kiper, NFL's been stupid for 50, and he just had the meltdown to where, who was it? Was it Reese Davis? Was yelling at the NFL the entire show's not going to change. They'd had it with him, and they were just like, shut up. It's like, we get it. First of all, he was almost roundly ranked as a second, maybe third round pick, or evaluated by all the teams. And they don't check with each other. They're trying to out-duel each other for these players. If anything, they want the wrong information out there. And it went out there from multiple evaluators or people around the process anonymously, but not one team. Jeff Pearlman is a reporter I respect. He did a nice rant on how this one guy shouldn't have done dirty like that by starting that rumor. If you're going to say it, put your name to it, et cetera, et cetera. fine and dandy, but it wasn't just one guy. It was guys from multiple teams saying he was just rude. He was telling him he had the way to do things. Follow him and you'll be legendary. Do like that. They just said he made a complete ass of himself at these interviews because they said, here we are. We got this guy ranked second and third round. Sure, Dad's out there yelling he ought to go number one overall. But for some reason, that took hold. Deion's just saying it over and over, took hold, and nobody really cared what the evaluators said. And Shedeur was believing it because he showed up for his interviews with this attitude like, I'm the guy. So here I'm laying it down for you how it's going to go. I'm telling you which teams can draft me and which teams can't. I'm going to bet Cleveland was on that don't draft me list. And by the time the 5th round rolled around, it was like, okay, you can draft me. So, but there were like 4 things that they were coming out. And the one was like, hey, they just can't handle a strong, confident black man, as if this was the first black quarterback. They were ignoring, I think, that it was either 3 or 4 of the quarterbacks drafted were black. A black quarterback went first overall. Black quarterbacks are starting for, I think, something like 15. I don't know if it's 16, but it's 15, 16, somewhere around there, are starting in the NFL. Half the teams have black quarterbacks now. So this idea that somehow, hey, this guy's trying to break barriers and the white man's getting in his way is ludicrous. And just a little something about me, and I'm not doing it to piss those of you off who think on the other side of this, I am the farthest thing from I'm going to call out racism as ridiculous every time. Absolutely not. I'm the guy that's probably calling it that 90% of the time. I am very liberal, but I just want you to know that. I don't want to start a fight. If you want to insult me in the comments with that, I'll just delete them. I don't care. But I'm just trying to tell you, when I say it's not about race, I'm not a guy who says that every time, no matter the situation. Usually it's quite a bit about race, and people don't want to face that. Not this time, which kind of leads me into the second one, which was so far beyond asinine, was they're going, yeah, he's getting blackballed like Kaepernick. And like, he's getting blackballed like the guy who basically submarined his career to take a stand. That guy, what is, Shedeur, I think, if he took a stand, it was, hey, look at my Rolex, look at my Lamborghini, look at all I got. Hey, look at me trashing the opposing quarterback after a game. Look at me walking off the field with 2 minutes to go because the Huskers are beating me up and I talked a lot of shit. That's like, no, the Kaepernick comparison is, here's one guy that, like him, hate him, this is a mature, well thought out person who made a decision that he probably knew was going to end his career and didn't care. On the other side is Shedeur, who's about Shedeur. And I'll tell you what, let me throw this in, and you got a real clue as to why no one drafted Shedeur until they did. Was it Deion Sanders? It came out, Deion Sanders has told the Cleveland Browns he wants to sit in on their first meeting with him when they discuss his future in place with the team. Boom, right there, we're done. Yeah, you got a helicopter parent who's telling certain teams not to draft his son, wants to sit in with him. He's never played for anybody but daddy his whole life. So that's got to be a wonder. It's like, hey, this might be the first time you get yelled at for real, not knowing you're getting daddy hugs when it's over. Might that be an issue at age 22 or 23 when most of these guys have left dad behind, if not by middle school, by at least by high school. You don't find too many guys playing for their dad unless they're walk-ons or something. That's a little scary. And then here's another one of the ludicrous things they threw forward. Well, this is the NFL fighting back against NIL and these entitled college athletes. It's like, yeah, these entitled college athletes who are finally getting paid for being the reason people show up to watch this multi-billion-dollar college football, college basketball, game. Everybody in the first round, probably the first 2 rounds, probably most of them in all 7 rounds, made some good NIL money. Cam Ward made $3 million. Geez, it didn't stop Didn't stop the NFL from taking Cam Ward first overall again. So I mean that's just one of the dumbest. I get the feeling the NFL could give a flying shit about, or the NFL could give a flying shit about NIL, unless you see a guy like Shador going around trying to go, look at this country, look at this, and trying to let the world know how much he's making in NIL. That might be a bit much for him. And then probably the biggest reason is you don't want a helicopter daddy all up in your business all the time. And guess what? He's already there. You don't want the media. It's like, holy crow. ESPN, you could tell, was furious. They wanted to make this him go in the first round and just pump his tires and Deion's tires. And people say, oh, wait, they weren't going to do that. I'm like, did you watch college football 2 years ago? They were trying to make America think this 4-8, 1-8 in the conference team was the Georgia Bulldogs. It was just like 0-11 to 4-8 was just the most amazing turnaround ever. Oh my God, Deion. And I heard the best idea, by the way, the best. If you're Deion Sanders and you really want to do right by your kid, and in a place where you have the means to stick your nose into that, hey, why don't you get a hold of some of your NFL contacts, maybe in the evaluation game, and say, give me your honest assessment of my son. Hey, it's like he can still go out and do his hype train. They can have their Battlestar Earth, whatever the hell that pro day was, where they were just pushing merchandise. That weird thing. He can still go do all that. But if he bothers to talk to anybody, he's going to hear. And after he talks to one, he's going to talk to another, because he's not going to like hearing the second round. He thinks he's sitting on number one overall. So once he hears that over and over again, it's got to take hold at that point. And maybe then he comes out later and screams, see, it was predetermined, but kind of tough to do when you're asking and not liking the answer you're getting. But at least you can soften the landing for your kid who maybe if he knows this, he's not going to those draft interviews and acting like you all are bidding on me. I get it. I am the man. He's going in there and perhaps taking a different tack. Maybe it's time to show them, you don't have to humble yourself. Just don't go in there and act like you're in charge, for Christ's sake. And maybe, you do that, and maybe you go in with a different attitude and get a different result. You're probably still going second round. That's a lot less embarrassing than the fifth round. And if you're still going to set yourself up for that kind of embarrassment, well, good on you that you're free to do that. Just stop this victim crap. There was no conspiracy. There was no racist angle to it. There was no NIL angle to it. No, he wasn't fighting the good fight like Colin Kaepernick. And these teams, they didn't like the attitude. They didn't like the idea of getting on the horn with them the moment they don't start him or use them the way Deion thinks they should. And ESPN, the rest of the media, aren't going to be at your training camp, just living it with your team all through the exhibition season easily. They're going to be bugging the coach and the GM nonstop. Oh, so has he passed everybody else yet? You don't want they don't want the circus. You want people to show up at your games, pay for tickets, buy merchandise, and that kind of thing. But you don't want the clown show interrupting your time to work with the team, which is basically what they do. They're going to come after you, Hard Knocks, and they'd be focusing on your fifth round pick for Hard Knocks and following him around everywhere. And the other quarterbacks on the team are like, this guy's fifth string right now, right? But anyway, let's see what some of Pitt's comments are, or TSD if he's still here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Sure. It went too far. It started to hurt. It was just weird that they never got the clue that here's where you're being evaluated at. And it wasn't even like insulting. A lot of them said he's tough. This is a tough kid. He's pretty accurate. The arm strength is average, maybe a little above. But there's not a lot on tape that's amazing. Because let's face it, it's not that tough to consistently hit a Travis Hunter who doesn't have anybody within 10 yards of him. And And they were saying good quarterback, might start, might become an NFL starter, but it definitely wasn't a first round type of thing. Yeah, here's one. Shedeur could be a huge trading piece. And I noticed that somebody did a little interview with, or maybe it was just one of his regular press conferences, but Mike Tomlin said, they were like, well, why didn't you pick Shedeur? Because right now it's assumed they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers. And, that could have been the shocker. We're going to grab Shedeur and give him a shot. But I get the feeling let's put it this way, they maybe felt better about Kenny Pickett than they did about Shedeur Sanders when they had Pickett and let him start. So they decided there's a lot of time, but they did mention there's the trade route. So, maybe they do something with Cleveland. Although I don't know, you see that much dealing within the divisions in the NFL. I just don't follow the NFL that closely. Wait a minute. I say Richie Incognito needs to be signed by Cleveland. He's the goat of breaking rookie bitches. And yeah, he was never vindicated. He was a bully. And I mean, if he was vindicated in that the guy he was picking on did kind of have it coming, but he had so much crap off the field. This guy is just a nightmare of a human being. So never. If you need a football player desperately and don't care what he might do off the field, then go for it. But otherwise, I'd say stay away from Richie Incognito. Let's see. Well, he says, Cap, yeesh, can we let that be its own thing like Nazi Germany? That's an interesting comparison. Like I said, Cap, not to turn it into a political thing, but, Cap was just saying, quit using us as target practice. I didn't think it was that strong of a thing. And he actually did get the idea to kneel, because at first he was going to sit on the bench, and it was a linebacker who actually served as a Green Beret and then went back to school, went to Texas, I think, and was a walk-on linebacker at Texas. And this guy gave him the idea. He says kneeling on the field to me, and this is, Green Beret, probably not looking to help somebody that's going to protest. That wasn't even protesting the military. They turned it into the flag thing. He was just saying enough with shooting defenseless minorities. Anyway, let's see. So Dion is a step beyond Archie Manning. Oh my God. Archie Manning, when it came time for things like the draft and the lead up, Archie was off to the side. It would have been, Shedeur's maybe going for sure in the second round if he took Dion and gave him the, hey, be seen but don't be heard. This is my draft, let me do it. And I think that really gave NFL execs, it's just, there's going to be no getting rid of this guy. And now it's playing out for the Browns. Hey, dad wants to sit in. It's like, I wouldn't, Mylie played college hockey. I would not have stuck my nose in her college hockey to begin with. Were there moments I was like, hey, I'm there for you, let's talk. I would talk with her. She never really asked me anything like, what do you think I should do? I didn't jump in. I was just, I'm there for you if you need me. And yet we've got a guy now beyond college who's going to be a professional, and daddy wants to sit in with on like basically his first meeting with the boss. It's not good. I think that if that's true, and I just heard it today and I saw it in a few different outlets, if that's true, then 31 other teams, I think, just went, we did the right thing. The circus has arrived. It's like, okay, Pitt says, I might be accidentally, ignorantly racist sometimes, but this time it snuck up on me. I just thought that I was hating on Colorado. Turns out I'm racist. Did not know that about myself. I don't know what you mean there, and I don't think I'm going to dig into that. And just hoping that's the booze and such talking. Yeah, no, this I agree with. Dion doesn't ask for nothing. He buys, he cajoles, he mocks, he wins. Yeah. Dion's a good coach. I can't argue that. He was successful at Jackson State, and he's turned Colorado into a winning team. I'll give it the caveat just because I'm bitchy and I hate Colorado, but I will tell you this: he's not going 9-3 in the Big Ten. I think it's closer to 3-9 4-8. He went to the perfect conference where they can win in what's turned into a soft conference. I don't like it, but that has just kind of turned into a run and gun conference. It was going in that direction when we left, but yeah, I think when Oklahoma left, okay, Texas, I'll give Texas credit. That took whatever toughness. The team I was counting on to be tough was Utah, and they seemed to have taken a step back from where they'd been. I don't know if it had to do with Cam Rising, just basically being hurt 2 years. Who knows? But no, I think they're a 4-8. They were a 4-8, 5-7 season if they went to the Big Ten. But thank God they're not there because I don't want them. But anyway, that's it. That's my Dion rant. Longest show of the year, but that's worth bagging on Dion and Shedeur for about 20 minutes there, 12, 17, something like that. So I had fun with it. If there are no more comments, we will see you next Tuesday. I might throw in a little football. I'll have been back for a couple days then, and then I'll probably take off for East Lafayette for the Big Ten tournament that week. But we'll definitely get the pod in, and I'll have my camera back so it won't look like I'm staring off into the distance. what all there? But hey, thanks everybody. Go Big Red. Well, maybe we've already lost 6 guys to the portal. Maybe we'll talk. There should be some more. They got about 18 guys to go. I don't know if they're going to go all 18, but I think they're going to try. Well, now I don't think they're going to get rid of too many more. I think they just informed some people where they are now, and they might be leaving some of them, just to go make sure they can get in a program. Because one of the things suggested today, I'll throw this in and then we're done, I swear. One of the things I saw today being suggested is now they're dicking around so much to sign off on the revenue sharing I shouldn't call it the revenue sharing. It's the whole college football thing. And part of that is the 105-man roster. And they're saying if they goof around with this much more, it's getting close. Nothing's been signed yet. But one of the things that's starting to enter the discussions is if you jerk around this long to get it signed, these guys don't have a chance to run off after spring, find lower programs to play for. And what they are saying they'll want them is everybody still on a roster right now gets grandfathered and gets to play this season. So the 105 will be held up. They're saying if you wait too long, because everybody's tried to go by that 105 and now they're fucking around, for lack of a better term. And they're just saying you can't take this into July and be fair to these kids. So you need to make up your mind quick, or you just need to go, we'll call it a 105, July 7th, let's say. But everybody on a roster now gets to stay on that roster, and the 105 thing doesn't happen until 2026. 25 is coming up. Yeah, 26. So anyway, something to think about. We might jabber about that a little. But anyway, that's it. Time to lay in the bed, eat cheese and crackers or some shit like that sounds gross, but I love. Only the squeezed cheese out of the can, though, right? The squeezed cheese. So, good night, everybody. Enjoy your evening. I'm off to probably the Portland, Oregon area tomorrow, and I'll be back Tuesday. Love all you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Big Red. Good night, everybody. Thank you.